So myself Tejas from Future Head. So I'm a technical trainer. So from civil background. So basically the main purpose of this live is to give a brief introduction about the interior designing. So in this live we'll be knowing what is interior designing, so how it is practiced, and what are the job opportunities for interior designers. Yes. So we'll wait for a second so that people can join the live. So can anyone tell what's interior designing according to you? So interior designing, it is a designing and decorating of a house in an important process that which is known, in common words we can say it as what makes a house feel like a home. So we can say interior designing, maybe something could be said like what makes a house feel like a home, right? So interior designing, it's all deals with the decorating your interior part of the building as per your requirements, maybe from the choice of furniture to the layout to the artwork and to the plants which you want to keep it indoors, or to the paint or the accessories, whatever you have to use it in the house, right? From the color patterns to the texture, everything that we will be deciding based upon our requirement or based upon our taste, and we give a good feel inside the house, right? Good interior design will give a good feel for us. So what is interior designing? Yes, interior designing, it's a process of improving the degree of excellence of something which is interior as well as including the exterior of given space. Yes, so in interior designing we will improve the degree of excellence to the another level, like giving a texture to the walls, or putting the artwork which matches to the surrounding, or giving the colors to the wall as per the requirement. Yes, so all these colors, textures, lighting, everything will have a psychological impact to the human. Yes. So it's a process where we shape, so in interior designing will be a process where we shape the knowledge of interior space. So we'll put all our ideas and thoughts and get it into a designing product. Yes. So to design this, why do we need interior design as a separate domain? Yes, do we really need a separate domain to design our interiors of the house? Do we really need a separate domain to design, or a separate experts to design the interior designing? Yes, as we know that interior designing is designing the interior, or giving one more degree of excellence to the interior parts of the building, where we have to meet the client's requirement. We have to understand the client's nature. So how the client's is, what is it? We have to understand what is his requirement, what is his nature, how the things are, and we have to design that according to the client's requirement or according to our requirement. For that, obviously we need to expert in interior designing. Yes, so if we have a soundful knowledge about interior designing, then we can come up with a very good designs which usually gives us a what immense pleasure when we go or use that particular space. Yes, so if an interior designer has already made his name by giving a creative designs and the idea to his clients the work, then of course he is one of you where you can trust him and give a best idea or a designing company. Yes, so yeah, obviously we need a expert or we need to get trained in interior designing. Why? Because it is very much essential to get understand what is the client's requirement or what are the our requirements to the design and what are the steps involved in designing interior. It is not just like you put this paint or this texture. It is not all like it is not like randomly you choose something. Everything has its own pathway or the workflow where you have to work accordingly. To understand that workflow, we have to get expert in that particular domain. Yes, so when it comes to interior designer, we say Dottie Dapper was considered was one of the first professional interior designer. Yes, so when it comes to interior designer as a profession, Dottie Dapper was considered to be a first professional interior designer. Yes, so when it comes to interior designing, let us focus on what's the main objective of this interior designing. So main objective, why do we design in our interiors? What is the main objective? It is to beautify or beautification of the place, the space what we have, and it is to express our taste or our what interest in the form of like wall paints or colors, everything whatever the space we have and the functionality. Okay, whatever the place we have, okay, maybe it's a dining room and we have to express that functionality, right? Why do we use the dining room? For what purpose we use the dining room? To explain that functionality we create by that using interior designing. Yes, I hope guys got to know what are the objectives of interior designing. I'll repeat again. The main three objectives of interior designing is first one, beautification. Whatever the space we have to beautify that. So this interior designing will help us to beautify this place. And then expressive, right? Whatever the taste, thoughts, or whatever the interest the people have, they can express that in the form of interior designing in the space what they have. And then functionality, it is a particular, like if I have a particular room, I have to express that functionality. I can express that functionality by in terms of in interior designing. Yes, example, like if I take a dining room, I can express that functionality of the dining room by giving a set of what furnitures, dining table, and then having a wall work or a art piece of food, or someone is having food like that. Creative artworks I can put, and I can say that this particular place is for a dining area or for seating and eating area. Like that we can express the functionality. Okay, so these are the three main objectives of interior designing. Yes, as I told you, beautification is like organizing, selecting, arranging the materials as which converts into an appealing form or for the others. Yeah. So when it comes to expressive, like decorative furnitures, area, whatever you want to be defined, you can choose that. Expressively, like all your ideas, thoughts, everything can be expressed in terms of choosing a particular furniture designs or wall work designs. Maybe I am more interested in what do you say regarding ancient one. Okay, maybe antique. Okay, I'm more interested with the antique and all. Then I can choose like antique design furnitures, antique beds, and antique utensils and all that I can keep in my living room, so that whenever I get into my living room or the place where I keep this, so when I see my interest which has been put out there, I obviously feel relaxed. I feel so cool, right? So this is what is expressive and functionality. It is to tell that what function is what is the purpose of that particular place, and to have the maximum serviceability and comfort from that we do the interior designing. Yes. So basically, when it comes to interior designing, there are two, that is structural designing as well as decorative designing. So when it comes to structural designing, it denotes the structure or construction of the objects. So it may be compressed of size, form, color, texture, or an object to be that object itself, or drawing of the object worked out in the paper, right? Structural designs may be like, now I want a furniture, so I have drawn a furniture design. Like I want a furniture like this, where the footrest is like so long and the head, the back portion is like to be designed like this only. That design I will do it. That and all, getting it into the reality, like whatever the design I have done in the paper, getting that into a reality, that is all my structural design. Yes, so then when it comes to a decorative design, whatever the design I have done in the structural design, that I'll be decorating by adding colors, by adding materials, by adding textures, giving textures to that, or by adding some materials, everything. Yes, giving materials, color, textures to the structural design is known, what we call it as decorative design. Yes, so when it comes to interior designing, basically we have two types, two types of designing. One is structural designing and decorative designing. Structural designing, it's all deal with whatever the designs what we plan, right? I want a chair like this, or I want a bed like this, or I want the space to be utilized like this, or I want something to be utilized, or I want to be designed something like this, or particularly customized design. That and all I can get into a reality world by getting constructed. So that all comes under structural design. When it comes to decorative design, it is all beautification or beautifying the whatever the structural design I have done is all comes under decorative design. Maybe like adding colors or giving materials, textures, all this. Yes. So when it comes to elements of interior designing, okay, why are these elements important? First of all, what are the elements of interior designing? So when it comes to elements, these are the building blocks of composition, of any composition. When I consider elements of design, okay, there is this piece of works should be unified composition, where it is utilized successfully and created very strong with a dynamic visual and the layouts. Okay, and the designers uses these elements as a tool to control how the message is to be delivered to the audience. It is not like randomly I put the things and organize it. It is not like that. I have to understand all the elements properly so that I can control in the message what I convey to the audience or to the client, whatever I needed. And these principles can be applied to the fine artwork, photography and design, graphic designing also. So whatever the principles of designs or the elements you learn in this interior designing, it is not like you only utilize for the interior designing. You can use that for your fine artworks or else photography skills or graphical designing also. So what are these elements? These elements are line, form, texture, color, pattern, light, space. Yes, so we have to understand all these elements properly. Then only we can have the control in giving or conveying our messages. Yes, so what are these elements? These elements are line, form, texture, color, pattern, light and space. If I understand this each in every element properly, then I can have that grip or control in conveying the message or meeting the requirements of the client. Yes, so basically when it comes to line, what is lines? In interior decoration, combination of 4 types of lines is generally seen, each having its own influence, right? When it comes to interior designing, combination of this following 4 lines are generally seen, having its own influences. So these lines are vertical line, horizontal line, diagonal and curved lines. Yes. So what are these vertical lines? Vertical lines are all those pillars what you see in your building, inside the building, right? How do I use this vertical line? How do I beautify this vertical line so that I can have that appealing look? Yes, this and all will be dealing this and all will be learning in elements of lines, in elements, yes, that particularly under lines. Yes, so when it comes to horizontal line suggests that the rest, pose or a steadiness, that they help us to break the effect of vertical lines. In hostels or in hotels, the horizontal lines or the table, sofa and the other furnitures complements this vertical lines in a part of an area. So diagonal lines, all these diagonal lines suggest the movement or the activity and the actions. Yes, so in the figures you can see how the diagonal lines look. So forward slanted line suggests the push and the backward slanted line suggests the pull. So in hotels, a diagonal line appears in a staircase and sometimes in curtains and the wallpapers also. So all these curved lines, so curved lines suggest the flexibility, grace and the feminine effects. In hostels, curved lines are seen in tight back curtains, arches and the furnitures. Yes, so you can see where we can use curved lines for and all in our interior designing. Yes, next form of element, next type of element what we have to have idea is all about form. So what is this form? This term form appeal to a 3D area and the objects, whereas a shape may be referred to an 2D. Yes, without the beauty of form, good texture or color or decoration, it is of no use. So the form of an object should suit its function. Yes, so second type of element, that is form. Okay, the term form is applied to a 3D area and the objects. The form is applied. What do you call form? Form is called as a 3D area or a object. Yes, it may be referred to a 2D one. Without the beautifying this form, well, without the beauty of the form, the good texture, color or decoration, there is no use at all. The form of an object should suit its function. Yes, next element is all about texture. The word textures refers to the tactile quality of the surface of an object or the area. It refers to the surface quality, how something you feel to touch, right? How it behaves when the light strikes over it. Okay, so the structure, the texture, it is all about how you feel, yeah, or how it behaves when the light strikes over it. The two categories of structure textures are visual texture and tactile structure. Visual is like what you see. Tactile is like how do you feel when you touch it. Yes. Then tactile structure. Tactile structure are actually the structure that can be felt by hand or it to be used in a rough or unglazed brick or something smooth, like velvet or something like that. This is what we call it as tactile structure, where these structure are felt by touch, by using our hands or something like that. We can feel this texture. Yes, but when it comes to visualized texture, these are the illusions or illusionary structures, textures that may be absolutely smooth or smooth to touch but gives a impression of texture. Yes. So next important element is all about colors. We have to know what is a color. We have to what particularly planning to give for our interiors. What is a color combination I have to give? How many colors can I give? And what are the combinations is possible so that it gives a pleasant look and as well as a cooling effect for the person who is using that particular interior. So when it comes to color, the appeal of the color is universal. Okay, the color is the impression received by the brain from the certain stimulation of a retina of the eyes. Yes, the light rays that raise in a wavelength and the retains of the vibration process different sensation and appears as a different colors. Yes. Then it is all about pattern. This refers to any sort of surface enrichment and applying to the both 2D as well as 3D object, right? The patterns, it is all sort of a surface enrichment, giving some beautification of the surface by giving some lines, shapes, all this maybe which we term it as patterns. For 2D surface or for 2D and 3D objects, okay, whatever the objects may be for 2D. So first figure whatever you're seeing, it is like for the 2D, and the second figure where it is showing for the 3D object patterns. Yes, so the pattern can be used for neutralizing or for styling geometry or the abstraction, or for the abstraction, yes, or the abstract. Generally, this pattern should be just about a quarter of total surface area. It is not like we give complete area with a pattern. It is not we give complete area or complete that surface full of pattern. No, the pattern should obviously we'll be covering it a particular portion. Yes, maybe one third, maybe half of the particular place will be covering with the pattern. Yes, next important element what we have to concentrate is all about lights. Now we have done designing, we know lines, we have given patterns, we have given colors. Yes, next important thing which or important element which plays important role is all about lights. So whatever the beautification we have done will take to the next level if we have given a proper lighting system. Yes, when the light strikes an object, it may be reflected, absorbed, or it allows to pass through it. Yes, so when light strikes an object, it may be reflected, or that object can absorb that, or it allows to pass through that object. Yes, so light has a function as well as an aesthetic effect. So considering light, it has two functions. It is functional as well as a aesthetic effect. That means the beautification process. So light may be dull or sharp or bright or diffused. So based upon the requirements, to highlight whatever the particular things, or to highlight which are the main attractive or focusing point in my interior designing, I can use different types of lights. And there are so many different types of lights, and to know all this, if we know all this, where to use, how to use, what kind of intensity of bulb I have to use, what kind of light color I have to give, so that the design will be one step ahead, or it will be should be understood well. Yes, next is all about space. The organization of space is basic to architecture and interior decorators. Yes, almost any space, if sensitively handled, and it can be made effective, livable, and even dramatic. Yes, space, it is a one common basic thing for architecture or interior decorators. They have to organize this very well, so that they can this space can be handled effectively, livable, or even dramatically. Yes, next is all about principles of this interior designing. Okay, so when it comes to principles of interior designing, there are some set of principles which have to where we have to follow this, so that we can achieve a very good interior design, or we can come up the output of this interior designing will be to a next level. So this what is this principle, we'll understand. So the principles of this design help us one, to determine the quality of the design, to access whether it is artistically good or poor in appearance. Yes, so this principle of design will tell me that whether it is artistically good or poor in the appearance, whether that my design is artistically good or poor. Yes, while using this basic elements of artwork, we should keep these principles in mind. So whatever the principle is listed down here, we have to keep in mind that, and we have to work based on that. One is proportion, scale, balance, emphasize, rhythm, and harmony. Yes, proportion. So the principle of proportion is also called as law of relationships. It states that the relationship between the parts of the same things or between the different things of a same group should be aesthetically satisfying. It deals with the relationship of size, color, light, texture, or pattern. Next is all about scale. The sizing of an element make up the structure have a consistent, pleasing relationship to the structure of another object. Yes, the size of the structure be in pleasing proportion to the different object combined with it. Next is all about balancing, also known as equilibrium. Balancing can be called as equilibrium also. So balancing is a condition of rest or repose. The restful effect is obtained by grouping shapes and colors around the center or pivotal points. in such a way that there are equal attraction or on each side of the center, right? Balancing is like you have to balance all the sides or all the space what you have with the equal attraction, right? It is not like only one corner you make attractive and the other but other corner you make it dull. Okay, this is what balancing or having an equilibrium design, so that each and all the corner are given equal attention. Yes. So next is all about symmetrical formal balancing, where an object or either on the either side of the center are identical or mirror image, where each other are placed equally distance from the center, and the results is what of the results we get, that is a symmetrical balance, that you can see it in a figure. Next we have bisymmetrical for formal balance, where an object or not likely to be equal in their power to be interest and the attract, and the result is bisymmetrical formal balance. Yes, so this bisymmetrical formal balance, that you can see it in the figure here. Yes, next we have informal balance, and this is also referred as an active balance or a alert balance, where asymmetrical results when the visual weight of two objects do not attract the same amount of attention, or and so they have to be placed at a different distance from a different centers. Yes. So next is all about radial balance. So this is a type of balance that grows out from a center point or an axial point. Okay, and it may be observed in the diverging lines, where the diverging lines that forms a pattern of spokes in a wheel, and the petals of the flowers, or so on. Yes, those radial balance you can see in the figure here mentioned. Then next element, it is all about emphasize. So what is emphasize? This is the design principle that directs to create a point of interest, such that the eye is carried first to the most important thing in any arrangement, and from that point to the every other detail in order of importance. Yes, so emphasizing can be achieved by placing together of grouping, using of contrasting colors, or having sufficient background, or using unusual elements. Emphasizing by group, you can emphasize anything by group. The object grouped together thus must have some common characteristics or similarity, so that the group do not create confusion in the mind of observer. Or emphasizing by contrasting colors or contrast colors, the eyes are equally attracted by contrasting of light and dark, right? Light and dark and contrasting colors. So one of the most striking meaning of calling attention to any object is to place it against a background with its contrasting colors. Then emphasizing by sufficient background, usually the plain walls are preferred as the detailing of the object that is placed against them that can be properly observed. Then emphasizing by unusual elements. Emphasizing can be achieved by using unusual lines, shape, color, size, and the heightening or the effects. Next, next important principle, it is all about rhythm. So rhythm helps us to achieve the underlying unity and the variety. Rhythm is related, it is also known as a related movement that directs the eyes towards the line suggested in the pattern they make together. So it can be achieved by the following ways. So rhythms can be achieved by the following ways: representation of shapes progressing of sizes, and it is progression of sizes, and then continuous line of movement. Yes, so next important element to be important principle that we have to know is harmony. So to create harmony, appearance as well as its uses have to be considered. It produces an expression of unity through the selection and arrangements of discrete object and ideas. So harmony has 5 aspects. So harmony of line and shapes, harmony of size, harmony of texture, harmony of ideas, and harmony of colors. Okay, then units of design. So what is units of design? There are 4 units of design, that is naturalistic, stylized, geometric, and abstract. An individual design may be based on any one of the units, or may contain a combination of 2 or more units. Naturalistic, these representation that the naturalistic view may be the representation of nature, like flowers, leaves, fruits, animal, landscaping, and so on. Efforts are made to keep most realistic, and these patterns lend themselves to either formal or informal themes. Then stylized, and these design resembles the natural object, but usually the lines are simplified and conventionalized. Sometimes they are distorted. The designers uses various degrees of styling depending upon the materials employed and the purpose of the artistic. Next is all about geometric. These are based on such a pure form of shapes like circles, rectangles, and triangles. Although endlessly variations and combinations of them can be used. So geometric morphods including strips, dots, checks, etc. So next is all about abstract. Many abstract designs are based on the geometric forms. So abstract implies an element of impressionism and then greater freedom that is found in most geometric forms. And the shapes and the patterns, although derived from the geometric, may be less rigid and formal. Yes. So when it comes to interior designing, only what we design only interiors of the house? No, it comes even when it comes to interior designing, it can be a cooperative office design, office interior design, which gives a pleasant look and a more enthusiastic for more energy to the people who is working there, or maybe interior designing for the hotel or bar, anything related to that. So when we concentrate now, when we want to concentrate on the office interior designing. In today's world, everybody wants their workspace to look the best in business and to give it an edge over its competitors. So we provide our clients such creative interior designing ideas that gives the office whole new look. Yes, home interior designing, everyone wants their house to be decorative with creative ideas and get a greater relaxed and smoothing environment. So you give us an empty, client will give us an empty space, and we will give them back with a creative space filled with the greater and astonishing ideas. So building interior designing, in today's world, everybody wants good design, good building designs and space to live in, and in its competitive world, representation matters, right? In this competitive world, representation matters a lot to the people. So representation means a lot today in the competitive world. Then it comes to our living room interior designing, where everybody wants their living room to be relaxing and stress-free area. So we provide we as a interior designers will be providing a design such a way that our client requirements are fulfilled. Next, bathroom interior designing will be done. Then automobile interior designing. It is interior designing, it is not only related to the buildings and all the structures, even we can design the automobile interior designing also. Then 3D, we can give that illusion effect of 3D in our particular interior designing. Yes. Then bathroom interior designing, we can concentrate even in even each and every detailing of the work, and in kitchen interior designing also can be done. Then study room interior designing. Yes, we can design all this interior designing. Yes, so when it comes to the conclusion, and interior design, interior design is a science as well as a part, what is the art of understanding the client's behavior to create a functional space within a building. Decoration is an art of furnituring or adoring of the space with the fashionable and beautiful items. To cut short the definition, interior designing may decorate, but decorators do not design. So this is all about some idea about interior designing. If you want to know more about interior designing, and if you want to learn deeply about interior designing, kindly do contact us. So we are located in Banashankari second stage, that is Future AD, and our contact number is and our contact number is 9611619691. So I repeat again, our contact number is 9611619691. Okay, so this is our contact number, and if you want to know more about interior designing, and if you want to learn more about interior designing, even if you want to start your career in interior designing, you can contact us. So we are Future Hedi, where we are located in Banashankari second stage, and our contact number is 9611619691. Yes, thank you.